This is John. John, tell me who you are.
I'm John Meyer. I'm the technical manager here at Hytec. I oversee a lot of the new processes as far as research and development in some of the emerging markets that we're working in.
Cool. And we are in the where are we? We're in the labs here.
This is, well, we call it the shop.
The warehouse, the shop.
These are all of our test bed machines.
All your test bed machines at Hytec Repair. We're gonna look at some boards. John's gonna take us around.
First off, this is what we call Cobra, our complete board repair application. This is where we track all the information on the work that we do.
Okay.
We serialize everything that comes in, basically through a barcode. If the item has its own barcode or serial number like EFIs tend to do, we track that so it makes reporting easier with the OEMs. Technician would get it, scan it, pops up into their queue. First thing, if they're not familiar, we have in our part documents 3 work instructions for everything. Level 1 is basically a trip through the shop. Level 2 is items or general item specific, power supplies, control boards, print servers. Level 3 is part number specific, and it goes to each particular item so that if they're unfamiliar with it, if they're new to it, or just as a reminder, everybody knows what needs to be done on every board every time. It's a list of instructions, this is what needs to happen. So that's how we ensure consistency in all the repairs. And generally, the technicians tend to specialize in either a group or a subgroup within an OEM. But as for cross training, if Canon's real busy and we need to move people over here, we have set instructions, so any trained technician can pick it up, read the work instruction, move forward, and everything gets done the same way every time.
So people are able to move around and nobody misses a beat here.
Yeah.
All right.
We have, this is more than anything like a free format notes field, so I find the problem with this, hey, this error will give you a list of potential solutions so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time somebody sees something new. We also do all of our part ordering through here. So any board parts that we order for this particular item, technician realizes he needs a fan for this, he orders a fan here, creates a pick ticket in the parts room. So technician goes over there, gets the part. If there are any part upgrades, OEM changes, upgrades that we've done, the techs don't need to know that out here because we make the change in the parts room. They pick the fan, if there's a new fan or an upgraded fan, that's what they get when it's pulled from the parts room. Again, ensuring consistency across all our repairs. If we make a change, everybody's doing the same thing. We also have the ability, where this is, you see where you have a due date, part serial number, who made it, what it is, if it belongs to a customer, what the due date is, if it's under warranty, all that information is at eye level.
And this follows the board from beginning to end.
Yes. And say like this is service type pre-repair, if someone were to order it online, through our system, it'll automatically update here and let me know that it now is for the customer, it's on an order, and what the due date is. So real time, everybody here knows what's most important to get done on any given day.
Cool.
Also track our board history. If the item has been here before, I can see who worked on it, how long they worked on it, what we found with it. So if we see repeat business and the same board come back with, say, it has an intermittent error, and we don't see it, and we see that a couple of times, like, no, we're going to move that one and it hits the recycle bin, because if we can't track the ID, or if we're not able to duplicate or solve a problem, and we see the same error code coming up, it gets recycled.
Yeah, it's bad.
We're not just tossing it to the next customer. This is also where we generate all the reports for our OEM partners. So they'll see what the customer claimed in the field, what we saw here, what parts we changed, if the complaints match, how long it's been here, who worked on it, how long we tested it after the fact. All that information is bound up in a report that we can ship to the OEM partners so they can approve their product based on the failure data that we provide them.
And whose boards are you repairing? The dealers, the OEMs, the customers? Are they all of them? Yes. Are they all of them?
All of them.
All right.
John, do you have one that has the OEM tech phone linked to it? Just to show.
this item, all the documents are ours.
Oh, there's manuals and everything in there.
If I was tied to the network properly, then
Yeah.
you'd be able to get to it.
Yeah.
But all of our service manuals, all the OEM documentation is linked through here. So if there's an error code you're not familiar with, you just pull up the service manual and get all that information in. Once the technician is done with it, you give a repair code. That's saved. Once all the repair process is done, the items are sent to quality control, where the quality control technician has all that same information on a slightly modified screen, but he can see that here's the due date, that it's shipping out next day, again repairable, but for any of these items, he can pull up the part documents are there as well. So the QC technician,
You
if
see
he's not
everything.
familiar with it, he can pull up the repair history, what we did with it, what the work instruction is, so he can make sure that the technician did their job right. So there's just a second set of eyes on everything that we do before it
A lot of follow-up
to make sure that everything was processed properly. And he can also based on priorities, see what's important, and so he can prioritize his work based on what needs to go in the mail today.
Very cool.